Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be going through what I have on my TBR cart and on my Kindle going into the new year. Now I have about 47 books to talk through that are like either on the cart, most of them are physical books on the cart, or on my Kindle. I've got about 9 books on my Kindle, the rest are on the cart. Because I have so many and I tend to give really long-winded explanations to these books, I am going to do these rapid fire, and in order to hold myself to the rapid fire pacing, I am going to talk about the books, kind of hold them up and try to give a synopsis in 15 seconds or less, and that's all I'm giving to each of these books. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but actually Connor, my husband, came up with this idea and I agreed that it would be a lot of fun. It's either gonna get real chaotic or really fast, or it's gonna go really well. We will see. I did have to do a little bit of refreshing of what some of these books are, because I either got them in book boxes and they weren't quite on my radar until they arrived in the book box, so I just didn't quite remember them, or they've been on the cart for a little while and I needed a refresher of what exactly they're about. I'm gonna start with the books that I have on my Kindle first. I do have 3 arcs, and then the other 6 books are, I think most of them are in a series that I have on here. So yeah, we're just gonna get into this. We're gonna start with our first book. The first book that I have is Portrait of a Thief by Grace Lee. This is an arc. I think it comes out in April, and it's basically we're following a group of students who decide to do a heist to steal back a Chinese painting from a museum that it probably belongs to. Okay, so I managed to do that one. That was good. The next book that I have is The Red Palace by June He. This is about a young woman who gets a job in the palace, and while she's there, there's like a murder that happens, and one of her, I think, teachers gets accused, and she starts her own investigation. Oh. 2 for 2, we're doing well. And then the last arc that I have is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is based off of Chinese mythology, following the story of the Moon Goddess, and basically the daughter has to go through a bunch of trials, and I'm not quite sure what else it's about. So next I have the Echostar Falcon and the Dragon of Jinseyin. These are the second and the third book in the Wolf of Oranyaro trilogy, and basically we're following a queen who's been kicked out of her kingdom and has to maneuver a bunch of politics to get it back. Sorry, that sound is going to be real annoying by the end of these. I then have the second, third, and fourth book in the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet series, the Wayfarers series. Basically, these are cozy sci-fis that follow a various group of characters and kind of character portraits of each of these as they go about their day-to-day lives. I was not about to say each title because that would have taken all 15 seconds. They're kind of long titles. Then I have the oops. Okay, so then I have Jade City that I did not mean to click on. Basically, this is the first book in a trilogy that follows kind of a magical mafia family. Alright, those are the books on my Kindle. Now I'm just gonna start pulling them off my cart. The next book that I have on my cart is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is kind of the quintessential dark academia novel that follows a bunch of students that talk about Greek classics and murder. After that I have Redemptor by Jordan Afueko. This is the second book in the Ray Bear duology, and basically Ray Bear follows a young woman who is told to make the prince fall in love with her and then kill him before when that happens. Alright, after that I have Jade Fire Gold. I have been told that this is kind of a similar to Avatar: The Last Airbender? I don't know, that's what I've heard it compared to. Basically these two characters have to work together to, I don't remember. The next book that I have is The Girl King by Mimi Yu. This is basically about 2 sisters, and one of them is supposed to be the crowned empress, and then the father gives a cousin the title of heir Next I have The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. This is the first in a duology. It's inspired by Irish folklore. Basically, this girl gets chased every Christmas through the woods because of magical reasons. I think her family got their magic stolen from them. Then I also have Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrian Thule. This is about two witches that kind of have to work together. One of them is cursed to never love and the other is trying to save her father, and so the one that's trying to save her father agrees to have the cursed witch help her in my brain stopped working. She'll give her love for her father. Oh, Dusty. After that, I have The Gilded Ones by Amina Forna. This is about young girls that get their blood tested, and if their blood is gold, then they're considered demons and they're killed, and our main character is tested with gold blood, and then she's hired to be part of an assassin group. And then I have Sleeping Giants. This is book one in a series that's told in interview format, and it's a sci-fi novel that follows a young girl who becomes a scientist after she falls in like a metal hand, and she's trying to figure out where the metal hand comes from. This is getting real stressful. Although, to be fair, I think I'm doing a lot better than what I initially thought I was going to do, but we are not. Oh, I think we still have a lot of books left. After that, I also have Sunland Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. This is also the first in a series, and basically it's following this man whose wife, they go for their honeymoon to this big tower complex world thing, and he loses her, and he has to go find her in this maze. You want the crappiest explanations you can get, come here to this video and I will give them to you. I also have A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This is a dark academia murder mystery novel where they're reenacting these murders, but then these murders start actually happening, and it's like history repeating itself in order to something. I don't know. I also have This Poison, God, it's so dusty. I also have This Poison Heart. This is basically about a young woman who can manipulate plants, and she gets inherited this house, and it's like an apothecary for like poisons and stuff, and then something big bad evil guys come. I'm gonna be exhausted by the end of this. I have The Wrath of the Dawn by Renee Dier. This is basically a 1001 Nights retelling where a young woman agrees to be this king's wife, who every day he gets a new wife, and then by the next morning each wife is killed. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Oh god, I don't remember what this next one is. Air Awakens. I forgot to look this up. This is by Elise Kova. This is the book one in a trilogy, and I think it deals with a librarian of like a magical library, but she's told not to interact with the magicians because magic is bad, but then she realizes she has magic. I also have All's Well by Mona Awad. This is another kind of psychological horror, I think, by Awad. We follow a theater teacher, and she starts to, I think, have like hallucinations. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Oh, I definitely did not read the back of that one. I also have Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. This is the second book in the Born duology, and basically I think we're following pre-Born events. And I think it's referencing 3 astronauts that were in the first book. Next I have Metal Game by Shauna McGuire. This is about a dude who basically like creates these 2 twins that are like super intelligent in different ways in order to rule the world, I think. I also have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This is a young woman who is trying to figure out what happened to her grandma, or she like inherits her grandma's house where a bunch of really dark fairy tales were inspired by, and she starts realizing that they're actually real. This is Lake's Edge. This is supposed to be like a gothic romance, I think, about a young woman who goes to this manor where there's supposed to be a monster living there. I don't know why she goes there, but then she falls in love with the monster dude because he's not actually a monster. I also have Razor Blade Tears. This is about 2 dads who are like ex-convicts that are trying to get revenge over both their sons' deaths. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think that went out. Then I have The Love Hypothesis. This is a romance novel, and it's basically like a fake dating enemies to lovers romance in a science lab. 10 seconds. Honestly, I'm so good at this. Never mind the like worst rapid fire synopses. Talk about the best rapid fire synopses. Next, I have a history of wild places. Oh shit. This never mind, we're back to worst synopses. This is about, I think, a cult place, like a commune, and it's magical, and it's magical realism. Yeah. Never mind, we're back to worst synopses. Alright, I also have Dreams Lie Beneath. This is kind of a, it's set in a world where every new moon, people's nightmares come to life, and then there's a magical society that has to defend, like, the common folk from all of these nightmares that are coming to life. And I think something disrupts that. Oh god, now we're getting into some of these harder to explain ones. Everything we didn't say, I think, is like a family drama murder mystery where somebody's brother gets wrongly accused of murders, and 15 years later they start happening again, and she, the main character, has to figure out what the murders are actually, like, what are causing them. The Perishing follows a young black woman in Depression era Los Angeles, and she starts having dreams about different lifetimes that she gets deja vu about and kind of feels like she's lived them, and she has to kind of figure out why she's getting these dreams. What Comes After is about a town that's kind of remote, and two people, they live kind of close to each other, both lose a loved one, and then a pregnant 16-year-old comes wandering through the woods, and these two kind of have to take care of her, and it kind of heals themselves as well. Oh god, I forgot to look this one up. Realm Breaker is basically like a end of the world-esque thing, and all of these different kind of, I feel like, fantasy tropes all have to come together, like the Chosen One and the Mysterious Wizard. They all have to come together and save the world. Once There Were Wolves follows a, I think, twin sisters that go to the Scottish Highlands to rehabilitate a pack of wolves, and then there's a murder, and people think it's the wolves, but they're trying to prove that it's not, and healing themselves in the process. Claire in the Sun follows these androids that are meant to be like friends to humans, and then one of them watches humans coming out of the store, picking other androids, and then gets a special job assigned to them, and kind of learns, I think it talks about what it means to be human. The Only Good Indians follows a group of Native Americans who are haunted by something that happened in their past, and yeah, that's about it. Vespertinos by Margaret Rogerson. This is basically about a young woman who I think communes with the dead, but then she gets bound with the spirit of the dead, and then something else happens. I don't remember, I just know I'm really excited about this one. Witches Steeped in Gold is inspired by African folklore. It follows two witches, and they end up having to, the kind of enemies to having to work together in order to overthrow one of the girls' mother, who's the queen. I also have The Hero of Ages. This is the third book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and basically this is a world where it's after the Chosen One like wins, but it's all gone to shit, and a heist and a revolution, and yeah. I also have Rabbits on my cart. This is supposed to be like a conspiracy theory worldwide live in-person game that's, I don't know, it's supposed to be full of secrets, and the main character gets chosen to be part of the game. The People We Keep is also on my cart. This is kind of a coming-of-age story of a person that wants to be a musician, and she goes traveling, and it's set in the 90s, and she meets a lot of people and learns about life. Black Sun is the first in I think it's a duology. It's kind of a sci-fi fantasy novel, and it deals with, I think, celestial magic and mysterious person on this ship that the main character is taking to this big event. And then I also have King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is a continuation of kind of the Grisha-verse. This follows Nikolai Lantsov after the Shadow and Bone trilogy events, and kind of how he's stepping into being king after those events. Second to last one is Keeper of the Night, and we're following a main character who is part Shinigami, part Reaper, and she's not accepted in either of those communities because she's not like full-blooded one or the other, and so then she goes to Japan. Close enough. You get the gist. And then lastly, I have Our Violent Ends. This is the second book in the duology, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gahn. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai with, like, mobsters. Alright, I think we got all 47 books. I'm very excited to read all of these books next year. I'm hoping to get to all of them next year. I know there's been some in this list that I have put off for a little while now, and it definitely is time to get to some of them. I'd love to know if you read any of these books, or if there are any that you were interested in. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm really excited to dive into a whole new year of reading. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this chaotic video and for watching. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing. But as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!